All right, so I'm back here working on the Fbody. Done a few things since I last recorded, but it wasn't anything crazy. I put the bell housing bolts in and finished tightening up the torque converter bolts. So those are all done. And what else did I do? I plugged in a few things, but that's about it. So this car actually has a well, I guess you would say aftermarket ECU, but it's really not. I mean, it's a factory ECU with custom wiring. So when I read the car on HP Tuners, it says that it's a Suburban, I think, something like that. Probably not good lighting, but if you're in the car, you can see. We'll take a better look at it some other time, but there's a wiring panel down in there. So the original ECU is not in this car. This car was originally a V6 car from what I could find from the VIN. So it didn't have the V8 ECU from my understanding. It also does not have a like a fan, what do you call it, fan box, blower box, no AC, no heat, no nothing. You can see no radio. I actually took that dash apart because I was troubleshooting the oil pressure gauge when I couldn't get oil pressure on the car. So I have to put that back together, but from what I could see, I did have a oil pressure sensor on this motor that is being put in here, and I searched the harness and all plugs are accounted for except for the oil pressure sensor. So I'm not sure what that's about. This harness is aftermarket. It's got labels on it. Definitely not a factory harness. I'm not really sure who makes it or where it came from. But I guess I have to use the mechanical oil pressure sensor. So that I just hooked up and put the adapter in the block for. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the headers on, which honestly is the only thing that bums me out about this car, is that the bolt that is stuck in the head, I really don't think I'm ever going to get it out. If I could, I might see if someone would know how to get it out, but I just don't think it's going to come out, just because, like I said, the bolt was pretty much replaced with the hardened steel extractor, because I drilled out the bolt and then the extractor is pretty much in the way. So if you were to weld to it, that's all you're going to be able to weld to, and I just don't think we're going to be able to get that extractor hot enough to get weld to stick to it well. So I guess I'm just going to put the header on. You can see it's actually this this bolt hole here. So I mean, it's got a lot of access. I just don't think it's going to be feasible to do. So I think my plan is I'm going to put the headers on, and I'm going to take some high temp RTV and coat the gaskets. I do have MLS gaskets. They are lightly used. These are what came with the car, but I can just tell that they were barely ever used. Same thing with the headers. I don't think the headers were really on this car long enough, just because there's no rust, no, like, at least whenever I had them. I mean, I had my hands all over them. I had to clearance them when I had the other engine in. So I'll show you here. This is the driver side header, passenger side header, sorry. So you can see it took a lot of clearancing. I assume that they're cheap eBay headers of some kind. So I'm going to work on getting these installed. Obviously I won't be able to put that bolt in, so, and it's on the end, which is another bummer. So I guarantee it's going to leak, but I guess while I'm installing it, I'll put some RTV around it on like both sides of the gasket, just to give it a chance to seal up. I don't see that happening. So I think, you know, after the car works and runs and I got it figured out, at the very least, I'll swap the heads. I do have an identical pair of heads on the old motor, although I gotta check them out and make sure that they're okay, since that engine ran with no oil pressure. But these both are 706 heads. Wouldn't be a bad idea to like upgrade to a 799 head, or just change the engine. I do have these heads too, 862 heads. Those are pretty much the same thing as a 706. I know an expert would say otherwise, but to me, they're pretty much the same. So yeah, I'll put the headers on, and then I will probably work on the intake and then the accessories. Okay, so got the headers on. It went pretty smoothly. I will show what I did here. Can you see that? It's like a mess, but stuff actually works pretty good. Got it right here. This is Permatex Optimum Max Temp Gasket Maker. And the reason I have it is on my 300, the V bands that go from the exhaust housing of the turbo to the exhaust on the back of the car. It's like so long and rigid, it's hard to get it to line up. So On 3 wants you to use this on that surface, so that's why I got it. It actually does work pretty well as far as sealing. I don't know if it's going to work in this scenario because there's no support on the end. One thing I was thinking, I don't know if it's possible, but I was thinking, let's say I want to leave it like this somehow. Maybe I could drill and tap a hole above it and bolt the tab to the head. Might be worth a shot instead of taking the whole thing apart and pulling the head off, but we'll see. Maybe it'll just seal for now. So I'm gonna put the intake on next, and at that point I'll be able to plug pretty much everything up. Probably not going to put the accessories on until after I try to start it and run it. So I'm going to do that, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. I think that's it. Really, I just want to see it run, and I want to see that it has oil pressure. And then I can button it up. Honestly, the front of this car is, I haven't had it on. If you look, I believe that they cut out the, like the radiator support, and the car came with some like welded together angle iron that looks like it mounts like right here on each side. Not sure if they were trying to do like some like hillbilly weight reduction or what they were doing, but I think my plan is I'll probably end up getting a tubular front end kit when the car runs and drives, and I'll take it to someone who can actually fabricate and try to have them do it right. So I'm gonna get working on this. I'm gonna put the intake on, which what I have is a let's see, I've got a lot of intakes up here. This one here, this is a new body style. I forget where I got this one. This one might have came with the car. It's got a 92 millimeter cheapo throttle body, and then adapter for the drive-by wire or drive-by cable on this intake. And I believe these injectors are stock from this intake. I did write a tune. Took me a while to find all the information for the injectors and whatnot, and the right map sensor that I had, just because they were newer, because they all came with this intake manifold. So the tune should work. I did run the car, and it ran fine, actually. I was actually surprised by how well it ran, but like I said, it had no oil pressure. So I'm gonna quit talking, and I'm gonna start getting this thing all together. All right, so it's quite a few days later. That night I did get the intake on, but I didn't record anything else. So intake's on, headers are on, like I said. Tried to put the dipstick in, and I'm having trouble advancing it all the way. It's at the O-ring, but I can't get it to go down far enough to to bolt. So I'm just going to ignore it for now, just because I'm not going to get stuck on stuff that I can deal with later. I plugged in the O2 sensor on the passenger side, and then I just put the starter in. I don't even know if you can see that. It's pretty dark in there, but put the starter in and hooked the starter up. I put some old used spark plugs in here from the other engine. So I'm gonna finish with the starter. I just got to put the 12 volt from like the ignition button on it, and then I just got to plug in the other side, put coils on it, and then I actually think I should be able to fire it. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I'm sure I'll think of it before I end up starting the car. But hopefully I can quickly get through all this stuff. One other thing I forgot. When I originally had this car, trying to run it, I had a wire depin itself. You can see that the light is perfectly in the way. Depin itself. So I got to figure out what happened there. I'm pretty sure it's on the MAF. I think what was happening is I took it off and moved it out of the way so I could look under the valve cover to see why it wasn't making any oil pressure, or see if it was getting oil to the top, which it wasn't. So I'll have to fix that too, and then it should be able to try to start. Not sure if I'll get to it today because I don't have as much time today, but for you it'll be instant. So I'll stop talking and get to work. All right, so here we are. Got the ignition all set up, plugged in, map sensor, brake booster, vacuum. MAF sensor's hooked up. I just pushed those pins back in. I hope they're in the right way, but I think it should at least start either way. I don't have the throttle hooked up yet. Hopefully I won't have to use it. What else? All right, we already primed it. There's oil in it. I know there's gas in the car because I had to put some in when I got it. I got the grounds hooked up. Hooked up both the O2 sensors, so I think we're ready to fire. Trying to just mentally do a checklist just to make sure. So I have had it on a battery tender, but according to it, it's a Harbor Freight one, so it's kind of cheapo, but it claims that it is charged. So we're gonna try to start it up. I'm not gonna run it for long. Hopefully it'll fire, and I'm not gonna have the laptop on it, so I won't be able to see all the vitals or anything. I do have the mechanical gauge hooked up, so we'll take a look at that. So I'm gonna take the charger off here. This battery is actually from my Silverado. And yeah, I think everything's good. Power on, and try to turn it over real quick. Hopefully we'll have signs of life here. So start the fuel pump. Okay, and ignition on. We'll turn it over. Awesome. Okay. So I'll check for leaks and everything. Sounded pretty good. Made oil pressure. So that was my biggest worry. So I will start to button everything up. It is freezing outside and there's snow. So it's not going to get ran for that long, but I think I'll put the water pump on it and the radiator, and I at least want to heat cycle it a few times, maybe put it on the two-step in here, just make sure the engine's nice and sound and good, and then we'll probably look into the turbo kit. So I will update whenever I get all that done. So, got the car together. I have the radiator on, and that's pretty much it. It took me a little bit of time because I had to piece together what they did here. Now, I'm not super familiar with these cars like stock. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be core support of some kind here. This is angle iron. I'm in the light. Angle iron there. Have to bolt it through the frame. And this is the radiator they had. Definitely seems aftermarket. See, there's like aluminum welding on it with some custom tabs going through parts of the car. And then Nishimoto fan, it doesn't really look big enough, but should be fine for now. I don't even have it hooked up, so I'm just gonna try to run it long enough to cycle the coolant, and then probably check it out on HP tuners just to make sure all the vitals are good and everything. But I'm not super worried about that because I haven't really touched that much on it. I think that's it. I'm gonna set up the camera for startup, and then once it idles down, but I'll just update later after that. I'm putting some coolant in it. I'm hoping maybe when I fabricate, well, I'm not really fabricating, but when I piece together this turbo kit, I'm not going to have to take the radiator and coolant all back out, but it's like probably 20 degrees outside. It's really cold, so I'm going to open the garage door and let this thing run. I put there's some glass packs that came with the car that go on the headers, so I have those slipped on. So hopefully it'll be a little bit quieter, but it's probably still going to be quite loud. So I'm going to let this thing heat up, and we'll see how it runs. So I'm back. I ran the car for a little bit and it was a little too loud, so I kind of felt bad. So I went to Summit, picked up some mufflers, paid like 30 bucks each, and they are just turbo style mufflers. Let me see, I've got the box right here. AP Emissions Technologies, 3-inch mufflers. So I just attached them to the headers, kind of like how the glass packs work, because they literally made no difference in the volume. So I'm hoping, I got turbo style, that way they're quieter. So I'm gonna try to start it up, and we'll see how much quieter it is. I'm not gonna run it long. It's like 6:30, and I don't really feel like working on this. But another discovery, I actually just discovered this right before I started recording, but I'll have to come back here and see what's going on. There, it looks like there is a trans cooler under the back of the car, so it must be a fitting loose or something. So I'm not going to run the car for more than a few seconds. I'm just going to let it run and idle down. So set the camera up real quick. All right, so apparently I accidentally took the keys out earlier, so I had to run inside and grab those. All right, let's see here. All right, so it's a lot quieter, but not super, but definitely quieter. So I can probably work with that. I just didn't want to have it run open header pretty much for extended periods of time. Because even for me inside the car, I mean, it's just insanely loud. As you heard, the tune's a little off. I don't know, I gotta look into it because I ran the tune how it was and it actually idled perfectly. I felt like it was running good, but the scanner said that it was like insanely rich. So I pulled fuel out of it and now it's like surging at idle. So I don't know. I'll have to figure out another day, but sounds pretty good. I think something's whining up front. I want to say it's the power steering. It's probably low because I drained it and then I filled it back up. But when I drained it, I drained like a lot. So probably need to pick up some more of that. And it should stop making the noise. Otherwise, it might be the water pump. Maybe I might use, I have the tool to get all the air out of the cooling system and to fill it. So I might end up just doing that instead of running it. That way I don't mess up the water pump. Otherwise it'd be the alternator, but I do think it's the power steering. So that'll be for another day. But yep, it runs and sounds pretty good. So it's looking pretty promising. But like I said, once I get it running like it is now, that's when I start to see all the other problems, just like the trans cooler leak in the back. And I haven't even put it in gear to see if it moves. I assume it does, but at least I know that the torque converter is spinning the pump, so that's good. And yeah, I think that's it. Otherwise, I mean, I can't really drive it. I can put it, jack it up in the back and make sure it goes through the gears, but other than that, I can't really do anything. And yeah, so otherwise, I'm probably going to start ordering the parts off of eBay to do the turbo kit and just hope that everything's fine. But yeah, thanks for watching.